First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello. Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Up Next. You found us at postwrestling.com. Thank you so much for joining us. You found us in whatever podcast app you're using right now, or maybe you're live with
on
us.
youtube.com/postwrestling. Hello, YouTube room. How are we doing?
Hello, everybody. Tuesday, January 13th. The wrestling never stops. And we're still here to talk about some NXT because you know why. We are your NXT friends. And we'll always be your NXT friends. And we're going to talk about the state of NXT, a vacated title, a bunch of call-ups. We poured a lot out. Many out were poured last week on NXT. But we love to see when the stars of Tuesday nights show up on Mondays or perhaps Fridays as well. And it's been a big week for some of our old NXT babies that we're used to talking about.
Yeah. We say goodbye to Javon. We say goodbye to Trick. We say goodbye to Jordan Grace. We say goodbye to Obafemi. And that just leaves us room for more people to stand up and deliver in NXT, and let's see who are the next stars. Did we see any of them tonight? I'm not quite sure.
We'll see. Who did you see in this summit that Ava will start the show? We'll get to, but yeah, maybe tonight was the first glance at the next superstar to come out of NXT. Whenever someone finally gets going in NXT, then yeah, they get the main roster call up. And in classic NXT fashion, the champion just vacates the title. It's just like, I've had enough. See you later. So we're going to talk all about that because yes, it is vacated and we're going to have some new people stepping up. So think of it as the, NXT, the next generation again.
Yeah.
We've seen a few generations.
I mean, to be fair, that is the purpose of this show.
Absolutely.
They shouldn't be staying around forever. They should be moving up. And it's just, you always get this rough patch though, unfortunately, because people got to find their feet and people have to develop before they start to fill those shoes. And it's just when things start, getting good again. I feel we were complaining about the men's division maybe a year or so ago, and they started to get it kind of on track, and now it's been depleted again. So, we've had some call-ups to NXT on this show with Vanity Project officially being NXT now, and looks like Keanu Carver as well now officially in NXT.
Yeah, we have some new faces that they're definitely going to try to use on TV going into this year. Like we kind of said the last few weeks, hey, going into the new year, we want to see some shuffling around. Since losing a lot of people on this show, you need to try some new stuff. And that's definitely looks like they weren't going to waste any time. I mean, I not only watched tonight's episode, and you're going to see like some people and what we're going to try to do with this Degrassi, the next generation, but I also saw this week on like across social media, a lot of other independent wrestlers were talking about WWE tryouts and that kind of like now being invited. Specifically, I saw one guy that I'm familiar with watching at a few GCW shows. Was it Starboy Charlie?
Yeah.
Who I'm pretty sure I watched him at that American Dream Mall show last year. And
I feel he's one of those names I've heard of, but I have no idea what this guy looks like, what he is, but it's a name I definitely keep on hearing in different random like indie cards and that kind of thing.
I'll tell you, I think I've seen him a few times now at some GCW live shows, and he's like a little quick, fast wrestler, not as small as like Marco Stunt or anything, but very fast, very flashy, and wears overalls. And I was sold from the beginning. So he is someone that would be instantly like comes to mind off a few times witnessing. I'm like, oh, that'd be something cool. I saw like a few different wrestlers from all kind of walks of life kind of posting and saying that they were going to do some other WWE tryouts. So I imagine more comes from this. Like you'll see this maybe this week and more other wrestlers on the independents maybe posting like, hey, I'm gonna go to a WWE tryout and this and that, because it is obviously something WWE still does, but with NXT and the shuffling of new people means there's time for people to come back into that performance center. So it will be interesting to see kind of what comes out of that, because we were literally saying this last week with now all these talent coming up, like now's the time, start signing people. And
absolutely, yeah,
things are different obviously with like AEW. Like it's either you kind of, those are the two, I guess, big ones in North America that people maybe would like go towards, but independents are tough because anytime something kind of gets going or you get some steam or you get some buzz or some hype, you sign somewhere. You want to help support yourself, you either kind of, you gotta kind of leave, and we've seen that a lot as well.
I mean, to be fair, like people criticize the vacating of the title, but I mean, in reality, that's the most realistic thing WWE can do. Matt Cardona gets signed, he's dropping those Gigolo Championship Wrestling or whatever it is.
Gigolo Championship,
yeah, it happens, right? So like, in a sense, yeah, it kind of sucks, but also like especially someone like an Obafemi, you're gonna want to protect them somewhat, aren't you?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. We see all the time if indie people got to drop belts and stuff. We'll see what happens with a lot of Mercedes belts in 2026 if she actually defends or drops them or just vacates or whatever. But it will be interesting, and definitely keeping an eye on like who else WWE signs. I mean, right away they're throwing some new names that we haven't. We have some debuts coming next week already on NXT of some names they somewhat tried to hype up in quick fashion. So as much as I felt like last week watching the show, I was like, oh man, like, okay, so we're going into this new, like you said, a bit of a like restart here with like a lot of people leaving, and then you're trying, throwing people in the deep end and seeing who can stay afloat, I guess, on TV, which has always been NXT's case. But I do think I look at it as a positive of like, okay, well then let's see, because like, that's what you do in movies or music. Like sometimes I click shuffle on my Spotify. I might click next a bunch, whereas I don't necessarily get to do that on this show. But hey, 1 out of 10 songs are probably going to be really good and I might like. So that's kind of maybe where we're going with here. So I'm trying to remain positive. And then I watched this show. So I'm trying my best. But I want to stay like, okay, let's look positive. And I will say, I'm not going to be super high on this show, but at least right away they're like, here's this person, we're going to focus on this person. So at least that's moving in the right direction. So I got to say already that is somewhat of a credit, because we'll talk about some people we have definitely not even batted an eye at before since this show. So it always is a weird reset of NXT. At least this isn't like a whole paint splatter type situation. But
yeah, I mean, I think that one in particular was so jarring that, opening with Joe just randomly relinquishing the title and then we never see him again. It was the way people came out in that first 2.0 and just they assumed we knew who they were. Like I remember that first Trick Williams promo with Carmelo Hayes, and us just going like, who is this guy? Like and this was pre there being an Evolve or an LFG or anything that you might have seen this guy on before. It was legit. This guy showed up and was apparently best friends with this dude Carmelo Hayes and said he's going to help him win the title. And we're just scratching our heads going, who is this guy? At least now there's a little bit of like, you know, bleeding people in. You know, we've seen the Vanity Project a few times now, and your like Sean Legacies or your like those kind of people we've seen sort of ease their way into NXT. And then I think you'll have then people like Keanu Carver who will just come in and make a big impact, but your core NXT people are still there, so it doesn't feel quite as jarring. But yeah, we got to brace ourselves to some early developmental matches coming up soon. So
only the strong survive. You cherry picking NXT fans out there, I know there's many of you that don't watch week to week, or maybe listen to us because you don't watch NXT, and that's okay. There's a lot of wrestling and so many hours within a week, but like we say, like it says on the tin, we'll be your NXT through thick and thin. Wow, was that a haiku? That was bars. Put
not
that
quite
on
a haiku. It rhymed. It rhymed.
But we'll always be your NXT friends, and we'll be through the trenches. We're the sickos. All right. We don't know why we keep doing this, but we love it, and we're gonna keep talking about NXT until we can't no more, until the levee breaks. Which this isn't enough. If we made it through Paint Splatter days, I think we could make it through anything.
I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly. So we will talk about NXT tonight, and there is some stuff to talk about. But I feel like we've talked a lot this week on podcasts.
Yeah, I'm kind of sick of you, to be honest. No, no, we have.
Sorry?
No, I'm joking. No, we have recorded a lot the last few days.
Yeah.
So let's get some plugs out the way. We just released part 2 on our Patreon of Best Match Ever 2025. But if you're not a patron, and why not? Why aren't you? You're in luck, because we've also released part 1 for absolutely free. And it's available both on our YouTube and our free feed. So if you do not follow us already, go to Poisonrana Pod on YouTube or search for Poisonrana wherever you get your podcasts, and you'll be able to find part 1 of Best Match Ever 2025. We go about 2.5 hours talking about the matches that placed 10 to 6 and going over them. We talk about some of the worst matches of the year as well as some memories from 2025. And hopefully, if you like it enough, you'll give us a shot to spend that $5 and check out Best Match Ever Part 2.
Absolutely. I put up part 1. Check it out. We count down the number 10 to 6 of the top matches of the year. Plus, we jump into just other moments and things that happened in the year of 2025, plus some worst matches shout outs as well. A great discussion there. So check out us talking all about the best of 2025. And if you like what you hear, go check out patreon.com/Poisonrana. $5 a month's access gets you part 2, gets you all the movie reviews and retro wrestling that we got on there, including we call a show Was Next, where we go back in time through NXT and look at some old stuff. And we're going to be looking at the, I believe, July 3rd, 2014 edition of
this
NXT.
Is a big one, actually. I started that before NXT tonight, and we have a 4 horsewomen tag match for the first time ever. All 4 of the horsewomen sharing the ring together.
Yeah, Was Next is a great show if you're a real like NXT. Like you said, it's interesting always seeing the next generation and crop of people. And we kind of go back, and it's interesting. The last episode we did was Becky Lynch's NXT debut, the Irish jig and all. So it's interesting going back and watching Sami Zayn right now, big part of that show, Neville as NXT champion, and so much more. So Was Next, another series that we have on the Patreon, plus many others, and it's $5 to get a whole month's access. So check it out. And hey, if you like free stuff, yes, Poisonrana in your podcast app or YouTube. Best Match Ever Part 1 is up for free, but we just did a show on Sunday, a little ditty called Poisonrana Live. We do this every Sunday where we talk about all the other stuff in the world of wrestling. We talk about Dynamite in depth, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, plus all the news coming out of whatever else is happening. We recently did a Wrestle Kingdom review last week, but this week we talked about Bandito on AEW Dynamite, Trick Williams interrupting Randy Orton. You want to hear our thoughts? Oh, we loved it. Our boy Trick with those lemon pepper steppers. But then Drew McIntyre, the biggest Berlin blockbuster, shocking news, defeats Cody Rhodes for the WWE title. We talk all about that as well and so much more. So again, if you like what you hear from us, Poisonrana in your podcast app or YouTube, and check out all the other shows. We will go live this weekend as well, talking all about Dynamite. What is it? Maximum Carnage?
Maximum Carnage. Yeah, looks like a good show.
I was playing that game just the other day simply because of the name alone, because I love that from was it Genesis or Super Nintendo? But yeah, that match is gonna be awesome. MJF and Bandito tomorrow night. Yeah, definitely can't wait for that. So,
but then you can also hear us on the Post Wrestling Best and Worst of 2025 show. We joined John. Was this just yesterday? That was yesterday, right? Yes. Mm-hmm. We joined John and Way yesterday to go about 3+ hours talking about all the best stuff from 2025, but also exercising some demons and spewing out all our hatred and getting that venom and toxins out of our body as we purge the worst of 2025. That is available for all Post Wrestling Cafe members right now, but I believe is going up for free on Thursday. Am I right?
Yes, I think it's coming out for free on this feed, the Post Wrestling feed and the YouTube and everything. So this was awesome. We couldn't wait to catch up with our boys, John and Way. We have not seen them in a while, and we have definitely not been in person doing a show with them in a long time. So it felt right, and it was so much fun to talk about the whole year, the best, the worst, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. It was a whole lot of fun, and I think one of my favorite shows that we have ever done. I think I always say that after a best and worst of show, but it just felt right sitting there at John's, the four of us. It was a lot of fun. So I already think that was one of my all-time favorite things that we've done. So absolutely. I gotta shout out John Away for not only Post Wrestling and everything, but the community and the postmarks.
It's our favorite time of the year. It's the time of the year where Braden and I go and look at the YouTube comments and we're like, oh, no one likes us.
Oh, I haven't looked at it yet, but I
haven't looked this year yet.
Yeah, usually people
will wait for it up for free. And
so if you do like us, make sure to comment on the YouTube positive things about us if you like. I know we go on some rants. You want to hear Davie go the fuck off, shoot from the hip? Definitely listen to this show because wow, Davie has exercises some demons, and then I think I do too. But yeah, you want to hear some great stuff about the best wrestling, the bad wrestling, and everything in between. It's always so much fun, and the biggest show of the year. Like it was good stuff. So that will be out for free on this feed. So follow postwrestling.com for everything. There's a big week. Obviously, we got TNA debuting on TV, AMC TV. I think John and Way are doing a show for that as well. And I think John's double dipping the TNA with a show with Jack Wennon, who we walked into briefly this week as well. So shout out Jack and everyone at Post Wrestling, because there's more wrestling. If you didn't get enough, if you're a real sicko, and if WWE, NXT, AEW isn't enough, now you have TNA on Thursdays. And I think Sunday we'll talk about a little bit about it. I'll have to check it out and see what we get. AJ Styles, is he showing up
on TNA?
You said it couldn't be done.
Yeah, he has been announced, right?
Come on, I said he's got to wrestle for that X Division Championship, Leon Slater, and that match has now been pulled and changed. So, interesting. What was I saying all those months ago? Option C. What do they call it again?
Yeah,
Option C. Yeah. That's going to come into play somehow, some way. But yeah, AJ Styles on TNA. Plus, oh man, if AJ Styles isn't the big enough draw for you to watch TNA, they got Perez Hilton. So that's definitely why I'm tuning into Thursday. That makes me definitely not want to watch this. If they're already like, this is what we got.
What year is it?
Yeah, it's like, oh man, okay, guys, TNA got a TNA as always, but
also on Thursday after TNA, pretty much right after TNA, you can listen to Braden and I live on TSN Radio Montreal 690 at 11 p.m. We will be live chatting John Cena.
Absolutely. This is super awesome. Yes. Follow the socials if you don't already. But I make my return to the airwaves on TSN, and Davie makes his debut. And it is the debut of a show called The Draw from our friends Randy and Eric, who are going to be doing this weekly show on TSN Radio in Montreal. tsn.ca/radio Montreal. You can find the link, but it will be live tomorrow night at 11 p.m. where we join Randy and Eric and we discuss a lot about John Cena and the whole year that was in the Last Time Is Now tour. Considering we do a show called The Champ Is Here, Davie and I are qualified John Cena experts.
We really are at this point.
To talk about John Cena on TSN Radio. So shout out Randy hooking us up, and we are very excited to join them live on the airwaves. You can listen online, and I do believe if you miss it, the audio will be up sometime after that. So catch us all over the place because we do tons of stuff, and I appreciate the love out there because we joined John and Way for that Best and Worst of show. We're going to be on TSN tomorrow. Then this Sunday, we'll be live on our YouTube, Poisonrana on the YouTubes. Hit that subscribe if you haven't, and we'll talk about Maximum Carnage. We'll talk about some TNA and everything else kind of going on in the world of professional wrestling, as we always do. We got you. Mm-hmm. We're here for you, no matter what. We're in your corner. Oh, I recorded a detox with Jordan Goodman today, and I think I might drop that tomorrow or something on the free feed. So if you want to hear us jibber jabber about a whole bunch of stupid shit, that's definitely the show for you. And appreciate the feedback and the questions and stuff. We got some love for the detox, and some people saying they appreciate the shows and everything. So thank you, everyone. And the shows never stop. The pods never stop. We always got you. We're in your corner.
Your best destination is Poisonrana.ca to find out everything we've got going on. That takes you to our link tree and will link you to our Patreon. It'll link you to our free feed, to our YouTube feed. There's hundreds of hours out there for you to check out. And also, you can check out our events because it is January. And wrestling fans all know what January means. It's Rumble season. It's the start of WrestleMania, the road to WrestleMania. And we don't like watching the Royal Rumble alone. We like watching with our friends. And we're inviting you all to hang out with us. If you are in the Toronto area for January 31st, Braden and I are going to be hosting a Royal Rumble watch party at National. It's a brand new venue in the Well. It's a really cool spot. They've got bowling there, arcade, lots and lots of fun things, great food, great drinks, great drink deals as well. And we'll be there, the sound on, the Rumble on all the TVs, lots of prizes to be won as we'll be doing a Rumble pool. Come hang out. Tickets are moving really quickly. So go to Poisonrana.ca and grab your tickets while you can.
Absolutely. Like we've always had a lot of fun hosting these parties, and we've done it like in a lot of cities, London, New York, Toronto. Like we'd like to travel with these things as well. But the Royal Rumble is the one everyone gets together. I feel like the biggest event where like even people's friends who don't even watch wrestling want to come in and watch the Rumble, and even more so the Rumble pools. You know what we're talking about. We love doing the Rumble pools, and we got some great prizes as we usually do for these things in person, but we suspect a sellout for this show. We just put up the sales, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Lots of cool prizes, some games, and of course our pals Big Tom, Pure Fandom, going to be there with a bunch of stuff, some belts and masks and merch as well. So it's always a party in Toronto, and we of course love to see you there. I believe hopefully some post wrestling people, maybe WH, try to convince him to come. I've invited Jack as well, Mike Murray, the squad.
Yeah,
all the regular people out there, our Reckless Rob, who's finally out of TNT titles. I'm sorry, Davey. Somehow Rob, like last year, bought like, I don't know, maybe 10 toy TNT championship belts for $1 each. So for every event we had a TNT replica that two years in a row a kid won. So we felt good about that. We were like, at least a kid won this one. But
didn't the same kid win 2 of them?
Yeah.
So yeah.
He won something else, a different title belt. I think
That's
it's a
right. Okay.
toy one, but yeah. So Rob is like just been giving us random TNT titles. So I asked him, any chance you got more of these? Sorry, I'm out. I'm like, all right, no more TNT titles. But definitely looking forward to the Royal Rumble. And it's always the fun.
Toys R Us is gone as well. I went to
Toys
Dufferin Mall the other day to try and pick up some prizes, and no more Toys R Us.
Like that was a thing in the States, right? They closed their Toys R Us's, and then
we
still had ours. I don't know. Do kids even play with toys these days? Like when I walked through Walmart last week, I was looking for some prizes. I'm like, why would I spend $40 on a Rosie figure? No disrespect.
I feel toys today are more for 40-year-old men who just keep them in a box and put them on a shelf, right? Like it's
I walked through Walmart. I was like, oh, I was grocery shopping at a Walmart, and I was like, oh, I might as well look and see what like wrestling stuff for our giveaways and stuff. And there was like a Lex Luger figure for $40, a Rosie figure, and a Kurt Angle figure, and they had a Brian Pillman and a Lexus King, and they were like $40 for a figure. Now I'm like, they were definitely not that expensive when I was a kid, but like I know inflation and everything, but it's like it's more for collectors these days. Like I'm not a figure kind of person, and I know you aren't either. But
I collected them as a kid, but like played with them, you know. Like,
like nowadays there's people, because that wasn't even that bad. It's just I then also walked by, and there was like this Michael Myers Halloween figure, and it's the size of a normal WWE figure, but it was like $80. I'm like, no kid, this is for adults. This is not for kids to like. Well, first of all, I guess a kid shouldn't be playing with a Michael Myers and a fake knife thing, but like that's just crazy. So $40 for a wrestling figure, is that normal? I guess so. People,
I think it is these days. Yeah, that seems to be the going price.
It's tough. And then I see Jake in the chat. Jake from the Windy City says, have you guys seen any of the new LJN figures? They're now at Target. Target. I wish we had that, but Randy says, I'll bring you an LJN. All right. I want an LJN. Is it a Logan Paul one? I know that one's probably easy to give away, or maybe that's a hard one to get. I'm not sure, but I do like those. I have the classic Macho and Hogan, but yeah. So you didn't get any other things? You didn't see anything that was good for our giveaways?
No, I was scouting, but no, nothing great. Yeah. I keep a look on Amazon though, because there's often some, like I got that last year, the WrestleMania, I mean, shout out champ is here, but WrestleMania 29 ring with Cena and The Rock, and at a very reasonable price. So picked up a couple of them for last year's WrestleMania. But,
that's right. I remember.
Yeah, you just got to keep your eyes open for little finds, little steals.
Excellent. Well, we will, because we got some other good stuff, but it's always fun to surprise people with some interesting gifts and stuff. But the Rumble's always fun. Definitely excited about that. We'll talk about the Rumble hype and Drew McIntyre winning the WWE Championship and a whole lot of things changing. Who knows what could happen by the time we get to Royal Rumble, let alone WrestleMania. So lots to talk about, and we will talk about a lot of WWE, including some Raw, some SmackDown, and Dynamite on Sunday's show. So again, search Poisonrana if you haven't already, and we'll talk more about that. Should we talk about some NXT though?
I think so. Let's do it.
Let's talk about some NXT, the new generation, for the voice of the next generation.
NXT from January 13th, 2026. How many times have you said or written down 2025 so far, Braden?
I've been really good. Really good. It's other people I notice still doing it. Like someone at work put in something with a 25 and it kind of messed things up. So I corrected it, which then also messed some things up. So no, I feel like I'm on top of it now.
Dates are hard enough with me as they are, because I'm a day, month, year person, as it should be. But North America, they like their month, day, year. So I get confused anyway. And then you change the year in there.
You say Brits, or is this a European thing, or like what? Like
it's pretty European, Australian.
It's just because I think it's because you go January 1st, 2026. You don't necessarily say
Well, no, we would say the 1st of January, 2026. Right. You go bigger, day, month, year. It gets bigger and bigger, decade, century, you know?
Right.
But
we do it this way over here.
It's you go in importance. Like the day is the most important thing. What day is it? I don't.
Well, this is Canada, buddy. So
it doesn't matter if it's like I need to know the month, what month it is. No, I need to know the day.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so January 13th, 2026, and we start.
Don't you mean the 13th of January?
13th of January. Yeah, I'm losing people here. I'm losing myself.
I'm losing my mind.
NXT, 13th of January, 2026, live from the Performance Center. We start with Ava, who says that last week, Obafemi vacated the NXT Championship. And she says, some people see it as a challenge, but I see it as an opportunity. And you might be someone who feels overlooked, or might be a new face here, but there's no better opportunity than right now. And that's where Ricky Saints comes out and thanks everyone for showing up tonight. He says, but I told you, I ran the Stand and Deliver main event right out of NXT. That's what I call an absolute hat trick. Javon gone, Trick gone, Oba gone, because they're all afraid to be in the same company as me. They're in the past and I am the now. And the signature at the top of the show says something. And that represents me, because Ricky Saints is then, now, and forever. And together, you'll be watching me. And he says, look around. So the ring is kind of surrounded by the NXT male roster as Ricky is in the middle of the ring and says, I see future champs, but that's the future. All eyes are on Saints right now, who will be a 2-time NXT champion. And he says, he'll let Ava hand the title over to him right now. And, well, you know what? Ava isn't having that. She isn't handing the championship over right away. And instead, she says that on February the 3rd, there will be a 6-man ladder match for the title involving qualifying matches in the coming weeks. And that's how we will determine who the new NXT champion is. We then see Joe Hendry roll into the ring and pretty much the whole roster go into the ring. A big brawl when Evolve's Keanu Carver comes in and we see him just launch a dude into the crowd. He powerbombs Brooks Jensen through a table. He's just taking out absolutely everyone with his sheer strength. And there you have it. So the debut of Keanu Carver and the announcement of the NXT Championship ladder match on February 3rd.
Yeah, like we said off the top a little bit, this is definitely a reset in the world of NXT. As far as this TV show goes, this is the way they made Oba vacate. It's like, hey, now this is up for grabs for the next person. So a 6-person ladder match in a few weeks in February 3rd, I think they said. So on a Tuesday night, this will be crowned a new NXT champion out of these 6 people. And we're going to get to later, there'll be some qualifying matches and things like that. But it's a bit jarring. I think we kind of did beat it over the head, I'm sure, last week. But like, if you know he's up, like, why? Maybe you booked Oba to beat Ricky, but then you decided Oba was going to go. Was it because of the Cody Rhodes thing at Saturday night's main event? I'm not really sure what the hell was going on with that, but it just feels weird. I think people remember the Asuka Ember Moon stuff, and it definitely gives the same vibes of like, they can make up whatever shit they want. It's a made up show, but then they choose to do these weird things that kind of diminishes this title. I see someone in the chat saying it kind of felt like a mid-card sort of thing here with like all these people you don't really know, because the ring was surrounded by like what felt like a lumberjack match of all these like people you don't really believe in quite yet. It's way too early to be like, oh, this person has a shot at being NXT champion. And it did feel a little weird. But then I would say the plus here, Keanu Carver. Now I think back, this isn't the first time we've seen him. And I'm not talking about Evolve because I haven't watched, shout out Tubi, but I haven't watched him on Evolve. I remember he was in a breakout tournament like a few years ago. I'd say like 2024 or 2023, maybe even. And now we didn't see a whole lot of him, but right away I recognized who he was. And when they said, unfortunately, it was one of those, hey, that's Keanu Carver. And that's going to warrant a who from probably a lot of people. But then he came in and just like threw, I don't know if that was Brad Baylor or whoever he just whipped across. Was like, okay, all right. And then poor Brooks Jensen, you know, he's a favorite of us on up next. But I think he wanted to take that powerbomb because he's got that fighting spirit. But Brooks Jensen just gets absolutely destroyed through the commentator desk. And I was like, hey, first glance of this guy, clearly they see something in him, and this is where we could, you know, this is someone that we could see them focusing and putting some momentum behind. And off the bat, I'm like, all right, you just threw this guy and destroyed Brooks. Like, okay, I'm not saying he should be NXT champion by February 3rd, but down the line, I think maybe this is someone we could focus. We lost a lot of people in this division, so we do need to try to, I think my worry was we have like people like these other characters we have seen like later tonight, Lexus King, Shiloh Hill. There's some characters that I don't necessarily think should be the next NXT champion at least right now, or maybe ever in some cases. But if that makes sense, like I didn't like this because I don't like having this title vacated, but it is, so it's whatever. This is where we're going to go in the show. And I didn't really like all these, dare I say, jobbers ringside, but then I did like how out of this broke out this way they're going to push Keanu Carver. So let's see how it plays out, I guess.
I feel two ways about it. Like, I think if Oba hadn't lost the title in the first place, I wouldn't have as big an issue with him vacating it, because if we were to treat this like, you know, as a fictionalized sport, like this is a sport, this is developmental, this guy's held on to this title forever, the title's holding him back at this point, and you would just graduate to the next league, the higher league above, which is Raw and SmackDown. This is essentially, it's not a world title. It is essentially a mid-card title because it's your developmental brand's title. But, and I think with Asuka, like, I think it sucked for Ember being the one to win it, considering she was in that feud with Asuka for so long and never beat Asuka, and then you give it to her right away. I thought that sucked. But I think if Oba was just this unstoppable monster who had, you know, the longest NXT title reign ever, it would make a bit more sense. But the fact that he'd lost it just the month before made it all a little bit weird. Keanu Carver, I completely forgot he was in that breakout tournament. He was against Riley Osborne in the first round of the 2023 breakout tournament.
Riley Osborne.
But Chase U, you know.
Right.
Blair Davenport's fella. And yeah, but then when Evolve started, I checked out the first episode, and it wasn't enough for me to like keep watching, but I was curious, and he had a big like feature on him, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can see it in this guy. And I thought he did make a good impact here, like his military press and just throwing guys into the crowd look great, and probably a good idea not to have him in the same like brand as Oba at the same time, because very similar.
He comes in and he's throwing guys around and doing the powerbomb spot.
Exactly.
So like very, very, I definitely like, he's someone who's going to take the big Haas position in NXT. And I mean, out of all the people that you got out of this segment, instantly he's someone you would say, hey, if you want to buy some stock, and I'd say he might be the one, because they're telling you right here, he just cleared some of these dudes. But really, the title should just go back to Ricky Saints at this point. He comes out here saying later, like, I'm going to jump ahead. He just gets put in this match. He is officially in this ladder match simply because he did beat Obafemi. So, I mean, I don't necessarily say this is a spoiler. A preview or a prediction would be that he does win that ladder match, because that would make the most sense. You wouldn't just give this to someone who isn't ready off a random TV special. You would probably want to build some story, and having heel Ricky with the title probably does make the most sense. I can't name anyone else who we have in NXT who would fit being NXT champion.
Is apart from Ethan Page, are there any other NXT champions on the roster right now? I don't think so, right?
What do you mean? Like
previous NXT champions? There's none.
True, yeah.
Right?
I mean, we lost Trick, we lost Oba.
So I'm just trying to justify Ricky just being put straight in, and I guess it does make sense because he's the only one who's really held it.
What sucks is, again, NXT, like, can you not just give a little bit more love and care to the show? Like, okay, Oba needs to drop this title. Why? Is he all of a sudden on Raw or SmackDown this week? No, he wasn't. So, like, what was the hurry? Can you not just book Ricky versus Oba like this week and have Ricky win and then Oba's gone? Like, you could have done
I don't
that.
think with Oba. No, I don't think you have Oba.
He already did it as a babyface, and it was a wet fart. It was awful. And they did that anyways.
I think this is them trying to make you forget that happened in a way.
Brutal. Like, I feel like the care of, like, actually, connecting things, they don't give a fuck. That's what they're telling me as a viewer. Like, oh, you just did this. Okay. Very, very strange, in my opinion, of how they definitely just drop things and go cold or move course and release people or contract. Like, it's just very weird how they cut and move on this show. And for what? Like, you could have easily played this story out and had him do a goodbye or whatever. But now we're kind of stuck with, it's definitely just going to go to Ricky Sainz. And then we got to build up some other people. Cause now we don't even have, look at all the stories that was set up. You had Dion Lennox being like, hey, Oba, I'm fucking coming for you. Cool. That doesn't mean anything anymore. Ricky Sainz saying, hey, I want the rematch. The whole story was definitely leading for the third match where Ricky was the heel. So I don't know. It's definitely strange.
I don't even know if it is going back to Ricky, to be honest.
Who else can you?
I don't know. We'll see from this. Maybe it's Shiloh Hill.
Shiloh.
I don't know, but I don't think it's necessarily a guarantee that it's Ricky.
We will see.
So, well, let's move on. So we have that. Yes, we'll find out some of the qualifying matches later in the show. And after the break, we see Ava on the phone, and she's talking to someone and says, "We'll see you later tonight." Wonder who that is about.
Yeah, who is she talking to here? Who was that?
Who's in a suit? Tony?
I guess it was Tony, because it looked like some dude in a coat or something, right? So yeah, that makes sense. The Bane coat.
And then Mr. Stone comes in and tells Ava that Blake Monroe has arrived and has a lot to get off her chest. We go to our first match of the evening. It's Kelani Jordan versus Lola Vice. Kelani jumps the bell, attacking Lola. They're both rolling around with strikes and some quick roll-up near falls early on in the match. Lola goes for a head scissor submission, but Kelani gets to the ropes. Lola backs Kelani into the corner, starts delivering kicks and body shots, and Kelani just slaps her in the face back. After the break, they run into a double pump kick from each other, start trading strikes. Lola gets Kelani in the corner and tells everyone that she's a Latina.
I think she even shouted, like, "I'm spicy."
I'm spicy.
I could be wrong, but I was like, "Did she? Oh, I'm spicy."
She goes the hip attack, but Kelani goes to the floor, and then Lola comes off the apron with almost like a Rough Rider off the apron to the floor.
Very nice.
Rolls Kelani back in the ring, and does her hip attack, but it's more of a... Is she paying homage to Rikishi right here? I thought we got a stink face right here. Did we not?
Stink face, I guess.
It was a stink face. Lola
that's what she means by spicy. Got you. Okay. Right.
Lola then locks in like a coquina clutch with the body scissors, but Kelani rolls back for a near fall and goes up top, delivering a frog splash, goes for the one-of-a-kind moonsault, but misses. Comes back, hitting her modified angle slam, goes up top for the 450, but Lola moves, so Kelani rolls through, and then we get the back fist attempt from Lola, which is ducked, and then Kelani goes for a roll-up, holding the tights, but the referee catches it. She's like holding the tights and the rope. The referee catches this, allows a bit of a distraction, allowing Lola to hit Kelani with a great-looking spinning back fist and getting the win.
She does that move so good.
It looks great.
Like, yeah, and it makes like a noise. I don't know if that's a thigh slapping thing or I don't know, but it looks awesome. The back fist. So I love that finish, especially with her, who's like, you know, the actual trained fighter in her past and everything. So it works really well. This was pretty fun. I think some of the good wrestling that I liked on this show between these two, they're kind of in the same position where you could see them go with one of them as NXT champion in 2026. And I think down the line, these two would fit perfectly like on the main roster in some capacity. So I'm kind of happy Lola did get the win here, actually, though, because I definitely didn't expect her to see that happen. So
yeah, I see Kelani slightly higher on the pecking order than Lola Vice.
Yeah.
So I was quite surprised here. I could see this feud continuing, however, but I would like to see like once. I mean, I think Fallon and JC I think they've ran their course in NXT. Like they've been here 4 years. And I think there is, as Big Time Baxter in the chat says, NXT has too many women, but few titles, while main roster has so many titles, but few women. I think the tag titles are missed in NXT. I know they're kind of borrowing the Knockouts championships by the look of it, but yeah, I agree. There are a lot of good women in NXT, and I think once JC and Fallon move up, it's going to open up the title picture a bit more, so your Lolas and your Kalanis can go into it.
Yeah, definitely. Once we see, because we had a bunch of the men move up, but not so much the women, and I think that will follow suit sooner rather than later. But maybe they're actually going to let JC lose the title and finish a story before that happens, possibly. But
after the match, Lola gets into the camera and basically says she's coming for Izzy Dame's North American title.
She's beat her, right? Like the story was that she beat her a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
She's like, yo, I deserve a shot.
We go to a, what is this? Progressive focus on Tavion Heights. I don't even know if this was progressive here.
It probably was. Yeah, they do a lot of progressive is a big one. We skipped over Booker T going off about he was going off about that Kung Pao chicken man, and Vic once again being like, you know, I do prefer the General Tso or the orange chicken myself, and I could be wrong, but Booker said it's too sticky. Don't know what he meant from that, but
I know what he means.
Yeah,
it's not sticky.
But he also is saying that he loves Kung Pao chicken, which also is sticky.
Yeah. Tavion Heights says that in 2025 he broke out and showed everyone what he's capable of, but in 2026 I'm going to show you I can reach new heights. How long has this guy been in the company? And he's only just used like the reaching new heights pun.
Is that just we've only noticed that he said
maybe
that.
Like I
yeah. This guy beat Lexus King in 9 seconds, and in this video they showed something from last week where Lexus was just so furious after losing. So it did make me think something was going to happen with him. But
so Heights says he's going to be new speed champion. We then get a video for Jasper Troy, who says, you have 5 minutes with me, but I don't need 5 minutes. And whatever you think you've gained is a dead end tonight. And that takes us to the illustrious Speed Championship. And
you know, it's kind of like the worst rendition of what does Randy Savage play in Spider-Man? Bonesaw. It's like, hey, Freak Show, we got 3 minutes. And it's like, hey, we got 3 minutes, but it's nothing like that.
Well, this is a championship match. So you got 5 minutes.
Oh, wow. Holy moly.
Heights immediately.
So it is like Spider-Man, because they're like, hey, you were supposed to wrestle him in 5, but you pinned him in 2, so you don't get all your money.
Heights hits a drop kick immediately as the bell goes to knock Troy off his feet, and Heights just keeps on coming at him. Troy slams him down and hits 3 big splashes as we see that 1 minute has gone. Jasper then charges in the corner, but Tavion moves out the way, comes at him with some punches, and then Troy knocks him down again. Tavion is then lying on his back, kicking away at Jasper here. We've got 2 minutes left. Heights then body slams Troy, which was quite impressive, getting the big man up. and starts coming at him, even delivers a huge over-the-head belly-to-belly suplex, which looked quite nice, and then goes up top for a splash, but only a 2 as Jasper kicks out and hits the black hole slam and pins Heights with 51 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, not the most exciting match. I think we've definitely not been that high on Jasper Troy. The speed championship doesn't make sense for someone who's not that speedy. And okay, Tavion like overhead throws him because that's one of his moves, is like these belly to bellies that he does. But I don't think Jasper Troy knows how to actually take the move, because I'm pretty sure it's just him falling once he gets that overhead rotation.
I thought the belly to belly looked pretty good.
I think that's because it's literally Tavion like using his strength and throwing this guy, but I don't think he actually knows how to land on it because he just kind of falls over. It looked good because he's so much bigger than Tavion. Yeah. So don't get me wrong. It's like interesting, but I'm pretty sure he just doesn't know how to fall that way. So just literally falls on his like legs and butt. But I don't know. This wasn't very exciting, and I didn't necessarily see Tavion taking this. And I don't know why we have this. It's, I guess, this speed title to try to get people over, but I don't know what it is with Jasper Troy that they keep trying to do. Like, I just don't think he was. I can't tell you what his character is, his move. We've seen other people do everything he does like 10 times better at even a quicker pace than what we've seen this guy. So I'm already very much over this project. And I would like to be pleasantly surprised and see him turn it around. But as this Tavion isn't even that exciting either. So
and I think these, like, to have someone like Jasper Troy, which, you know, the speed championship kind of goes against everything that he is, right? Like, speed championship should be for your axioms, your phrases, like your cruiserweights, those kind of guys,
not shitty headlocks. Yeah,
but it would work with a character like Jasper Troy if every title match he's had defending this, he is winning in 10 seconds, you know, and then you finally have the guy like. If this was like, I've already seen more from Keanu Carver on the first few minutes of this show than I've seen from this guy.
Exactly.
If you had that kind of guy, Keanu Carver, who's just throwing a guy around, powerbomb 1, 2, 3, gets the match done in like under 30 seconds. Then when you finally have the guy that takes him to the limit, maybe pushes the time limit a bit more, it means something. However, they've made all of Jasper Troy's speed matches so far somewhat competitive. You know, like Tavion we're talking about short matches, but Tavion still got a lot in, and it was still a pretty 50-50 match until the black hole slam at the end for the win. And I just don't think it makes the gimmick work, because instead we're watching this guy apply a headlock when there's only a minute left on the clock. So I just don't. I think like Jasper Troy is not the one I'd go with for this. I'm not seeing anything, but I even just think the booking of it is not working and not necessarily selling him to his strengths. Like, remember back, and we're actually getting to it very soon on What's Next, but when you had Bull Dempsey and Baron Corbin, who are both just running through people. And look, we look back in 2026, we look back and it's like, man, it was Bull Dempsey. People were excited about Bull Dempsey. But the fans were into it at the time because he was coming in and crushing people in like record time. Like, they're not even giving this Jasper Troy that. So he just comes across incredibly bland, generic, charismaless. And I'm not even buying he's as much of a monster as they're telling us he is.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. In the like weeks, maybe months now that he's actually been a character on NXT, he hasn't managed to really do anything worthy. Sure, they gave him a title, but it's a title that's meaningless, really. Like, if all titles are props, then I don't even know what this one would be considered. But like, in the short span of seeing someone that they want to try to get over, and the just explosiveness of that guy earlier in the show, Keanu, to this person who also is like bigger than most people and is supposed to like overpower and seem so, you know, serious and dangerous. It doesn't come across that way at all. It's just so boring. And I can't see why they keep trying to do that with, I think of like the rinse, recycle of all these big guys that they keep trying to like work, and you should know that like this isn't working. I think what you saying would actually be a good device to get him over. Like last week they did the 9-second thing with Tavion and Lexus. That should totally be Jasper's gimmick. He should have crushed Lexus. Lexus should have won the tournament, and then he does that. And then the next person who fights him for the speed title, he beats them in 10 seconds. But it's just him.
But it's too late now.
Now
we've already seen these guys go 50-50 with him for most of the match.
I don't care about the speed title. This Jasper Troy thing, I think already shows me it's a bust. Like, again, I would love to be proven wrong, but not great. And Tavion, you can try to reset him and like, sure, but I don't know. It's definitely a low point of if you see Jasper Troy on the card, which we're going to see for many weeks to come, I'm sure it's looking bleak.
After the match, Lexis King attacks Tavion Heights and hits him with the coronation.
Oh, no.
Yeah. How dare he?
Don't worry. More on Lexis King later tonight.
We go outside Ava's office where we see Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair, and they're waiting to have a meeting with Ava because Kendall wants another opportunity at the NXT Championship because she was screwed last week. This is where Zaruka come in, and Zarya says, you need to get back of the line. You don't get another title shot. It is our time. And Zarya even goes to Ren. She's trying to stir the pot a little bit here. She goes, Ren, you're really going to let her get another title shot before you? And Ren quite sweetly goes, well, she is much better than me. And they remind her, no, you're pretty good as well. And Sol reminds them that JC has beaten both Ren and Kendall. So it's their turn. When JC opens the door and tells them to stop talking, they all go into Ava's office, and Ava says that a tag team will have a chance to go for the Knockouts tag titles. So next week we have a number one contenders match for the Knockouts tag titles, and it's Fatal Influence, I assume Fallon and Laney, taking on Zaruka and Ren QCC.
Yeah, it is Laney because she's in the graphic that they show later.
Yeah.
So it will be Fallon and Laney in this triple threat. Winner gets a knockout tag title. Wow. Who are the knockout tag champions?
Is it still the Inspiration?
Right. I was thinking that because that was the last time we saw them on NXT TV. I forget now.
Yeah, I've no idea. They're the last champions I remember them being.
Current champions are Jessie McKay and Cassie Lee.
Yeah, so the Inspiration.
Okay. Interesting. So
but yeah,
who are we getting against them? Zaruka?
NXT need these. Yeah, like let's get the TNA tag titles over here because I think we could do with the women's tag titles in NXT again, right?
The Inspiration won them on September 27th in Edmonton, Alberta on Impact.
Wow.
There you go.
We see Lexis King, and he is talking to Chase U and says, like, look, now that's how you do it after he attacked Tavion Heights. Andre Chase tells the boys not to listen to him, and this is where Stax and Ariana walk in, and Stax says, no, Lexis is right. Taking shortcuts is what it's all about. And King asks if Stax is ready for his match with Shiloh Hill, and that's where they start walking off, kind of talking about that, as Robert Stone walks out and yells at Lexis saying, you can't attack people and you have to go straight to Ava's office, straight to the principal's office. So Lexis is in trouble. And then Stone walks into Miles Bourne, who is angry and wants to be in the qualifying match.
So he wants a shot at the NXT title, obviously.
Yes.
Another guy Oba beat who wants to be champion. But I guess he should be in that match considering the men's division.
Oh yeah, I see him being in that.
Right? Like there's not many, to be honest, in this division that should be in that, but yeah.
We then have another vignette for Elio Lafleur.
Elio! I like this guy already.
Says, when you look at me, it isn't what you would expect. A Frenchman in a mask is unique, but this mask tells my story. I began training at 16. under the tutorage of a luchador called Nitro. And he would held seminars near near where I lived. So I'd go and train. And he awarded me his mask at the age of 16. And because I was young, he wanted me to be his protege. And every time I step in the ring, I represent him. And I aim to honor the lucha tradition. Without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. The French luchador Elio Lafleur is coming to NXT, coming to slash the sky.
So I looked up Nitro, former CMLL wrestler from like the 90s, 2000s. And he got a nice little shout out here from Elio Lafleur.
Did he ever wrestle for like WCW or anything?
I don't know if he did, just briefly looking across his Wikipedia page, but he has wrestled for a long time and wrestled many years ago, and seems like he's wrestled a bunch, but I don't know if maybe not at, superstar level of some of the other like people from around that time, but pretty cool that they referenced that in this promo. I thought that was like, if that's a legit story, then it's awesome that he got to give him a little shout out here. And I mean, maybe we weren't the only ones who were like, hey, it's cool that this French guy's a luchador, but like, why though? And here he is explaining it. So it does kind of give him a backstory. And
he does look a little like the Americanos, right? There is something where it's like, okay, because he's this French dude, doesn't necessarily look luchador. Right. Like he does look like Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate under a mask a little bit.
Yeah, could we get like some, I guess we don't want to do just French colors, like
I'm all for it. I'm excited for it. It's just, I think with that story going on at the moment, I can't help but just look at this white French dude with long hair with a mask feeling like he's
it's pretty funny, but like we've seen worse, I guess. Like I don't know, like we have a few luchadors. We got Axiom. He's a Spanish luchador, right?
Yeah.
So it's nice to see other luchadors, or maybe this is all a gimmick that he'll eventually lose the mask in NXT, like Phantasmo or something. Who knows? But yes,
I think that would lose a lot if he did. Like I think that is the appeal, that he's masked.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Like what if he's a handsome man that they could just have?
He might be.
Most of these luchadors, the gimmick is like, they're so ugly. Like, Don Callis on commentary. Oh, Bandito's so ugly. They're probably all really handsome men. But
I think so. Yeah. I mean, we hear Beast Mortos is like Jason Momoa, right? Like,
couldn't even. Was it Despy who took off his mask when he had like?
Yeah, and we're like, why are you wearing a mask,
dude? I'm excited about this French luchador, but do you think Ethan Page is as excited?
So next segment, we see Ethan Page approaching Ava, wanting to be in that ladder match. And he's like, okay, who's my qualifying match against? And she says, you don't have a qualifying match. And he goes, great. So you're putting me right in, as it should be. And says, well, I'll put you right in the ladder match if you vacate your North American title. And he goes, what? Why would I do that? I'm the greatest North American champion. I've laid out everyone who's come at me, even a bunch of zoo animals. And she goes, you're right. You're currently the longest reigning champ in WWE. And she starts like buttering him up and inflating his ego. And then says, because of that, the title deserves all the spotlight in the world. And therefore, next week, you'll defend against Elio Lafleur.
Oh, so the debut of the Flying Frenchman next week, and in a match for the North American Championship against Ethan Page.
I think Lafleur wins it next week.
I would too. And then Ethan Page goes and wins the NXT title.
Exactly. It's interesting because they've, I don't think it's ever been a like out and out rule that if you're a double champ, you've got to drop one.
No.
We saw like both times it's been done was, from my memory, it's Keith Lee winning both titles. And he goes like, I don't want to be holding both of these. I want to give people opportunities, and relinquishes the North American. Stephanie Vaquer did the same thing. Paige, when she moved up to the main roster and won the Divas title, she was told then she had to vacate it because she's not in NXT anymore. But This is the first time I think we've been told you can't hold double title, which is a bit weird because
she's a scam artist, this GM.
Sol Ruka was kept walking around with the speed and the North American. BS. So is it just you can't be the world champion, like the main champion with it? Like I feel for Ethan Page at this point.
Like if you're looking at this kayfabe wise, this lady is just all over the place. She doesn't know what she's doing. Why is she coming up with this stupid excuse of you can't be both champion, this and that? We've literally seen people become double champion.
Yeah.
The story is he's being like a heel, being like, oh, I should be in this thing. And she's like, well, you already are a champion. Why do you need to be? And I get that. But then to be like, nah, you got to vacate it to get a qualifying match. No. When has that ever been the rule of anything? You can't just make this up. So again, the character of Ava continues to just head scratching, nails on a chalkboard for me. I do not understand what just, I think our friend Wei gave me maybe the only possible next step direction. Try being a fucking heel, I guess, at this point, because you are being a heel here, not letting him have this match. I don't know what we're doing with this character. I cannot stand it.
Like, I think it works. I think it would work. Elio LaFleur winning the title on his first night, especially how Ethan Page's run has been so kind of international. He's been having the AAA defenses and the TNA defenses and all that. So I think it kind of works that the new international star you're bringing in wins it right away. I'm wondering if you I'm not saying full babyface turn, but have Ethan Page as a bit more of a tweener. He's so popular anyway. And I think the fact that, I'm watching this scene and I'm going, okay, he's a bit arrogant, but it's out of order. He deserves to be in that ladder match, right? And I think most people are. I'm wondering if he wins it. And you have a bit of a Ricky Saints, Ethan Page feud with Ethan being a bit more of the babyface and the person the crowd will get behind. Because I think people like him. So I wonder if that's potentially a direction they go.
Yeah, out of all the call-ups, I think Ethan Page could have been one that could be on SmackDown or Raw tomorrow and be successful just with the current character that he's finally found his groove in NXT. So I wouldn't mind him winning. I just don't know what you do with Ricky, because I do think having him as a babyface, I don't know if that would necessarily work unless he's still the Ethan Page that he is here, kind of like he's our scumbag gimmick.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like the MJF babyface kind of run.
Maybe. He is someone that the crowd, he is the big heel here. And I do think having him and Ricky both playing essentially the same character isn't great for NXT.
Yeah.
So maybe you do kind of do that. I would say he is now my pick that should win back this title, but it's just funny storyline wise that they can't even get this. Oh no, you have to give me the title to do this. It's okay. All right. So do you think he loses it next week?
I do, yeah.
The North American title gets dropped to a French luchador. Book it.
Because otherwise you just have this luchador against Lexis King and beat him in the first week, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
The fact that he's having a title match right away, and he's not like a AAA talent or a TNA talent. He's actually going to be an NXT guy. I think they're going to have him win.
Okay, we'll see. Will he bust out the French tickler? Will he come out with
the what?
The French tickler, La Resistance.
Oh,
what was their dog? Fifi.
Right.
The music, the La Resistance theme song, underrated wrestling banger, in my opinion. For those who know, but I do think that should be the direction. I hope this guy is great. I am interested to see. Again, you do got to throw stuff at the wall to see what sticks on this show. And I guess this guy has been waiting in the wings, so to speak, for a little while. I remember when that signing came back a few months back where it's okay, let's see now. So I hope for the best. I hope we get a good match. Ethan Page versus, how do you say his name?
Elio LaFleur.
Elio or Elio?
I think Elio.
Elio LaFleur.
Also, teaser, another French act on Was Next this week, as we have Sylvester Lafort and Marcus Louis.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the first proper time we've seen Marcus.
See how it all comes together?
Yeah.
We finally get another French superstar in NXT. And on What's Next, we're talking about old French superstars. So
yeah.
We shall see. Check out What's Next on the Poisonrana Patreon. But I think he should come out with him. He should get Sylvester Laporte.
He's got to come back, right? He's got
I would lose it. I would give NXT all the credibility back if they were to do that just for me. The money-making fighting legion. Every week from now on, I'm gonna ask you what the actual name of that fucking group is. And I won't remember it, but every week I'll say it differently. The money-making fighting extreme legionnaires.
The money-making fighting legionnaires, I think
that was just it.
Is the thing.
I don't know why I thought it was extreme, but
extreme.
Hey, French people can be extreme too.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. We go to our next segment. Blake Monroe comes out and she says she came out with every intention last week to reclaim the North American Championship, and I attacked Thea, but so what? All I did was bring a bit of hell out to play. And it was a travesty I had to compete for my title in the first place. Instead of letting Blake get her shot, they turned it into chaos. And I was right in the conversation, and then the narrative changed. And I walked out the building like I am the champion. But I'm going to let you into a little secret. When you are as talented as I am, people don't always know what to do with you. And they'll call you controversial. They'll debate about you. You'll all whine about what I do wrong. And you won't admit the obvious, that Blake Monroe is the standard. And I'm the most complete woman in NXT. And Ava goes on about the future, but no one compares to the glamour. I am the moment. The spotlight only exists because I want it to. I don't lose control. I didn't lose control last week. I lost patience with a system that doesn't know how to exist when things don't go how they want. And though those girls can fight for the scraps because every story ends with the same truth, that there are stars and then there are women who spend their careers, and before she finishes her thought, Jada Parker returns.
Miss Parker
confronts Blake Monroe. Blake goes to strike her, but Jada blocks it, punches her in the face, throws her into the corner, does the hip drop followed by the high step, and then hits the hypnotic, knocking her off the apron. So Jada Parker is back.
The crowd really hot for her. It feels like it's been a little while since we've seen her. The whole music, entrance, the posing, the dance kind of thing, the step while she walks out. And the crowd are just like eating it up.
They're big really reaction, hot. Big pop.
Yeah, like Parker. You could see her grinning, like, yeah, I got this shit back. And she felt like a really big deal. And I think this is an interesting feud you could go into here. Like Blake, I wasn't necessarily loving the promo. I loved the line, when you're as talented as I am, people don't know what to do with you. And I mean, that is something that we'll see about that. We'll see about this line, but I thought that one stuck out from this promo. So I guess she's kind of shouting out the haters out there, like, hey, it's just because I'm so good that right now I'm in this weird limbo. I wonder if this is like, I still think she's going to the main roster sooner rather than later. I don't think she's necessarily sticking around. I could be wrong. That's just me, like, kind of assuming this character you could reset and relaunch the glamour with vignettes and everything on the main roster, and it would probably work. So maybe Miss Parker is a great little feud or something we could go into for now. But I don't know if Blake is necessarily sticking around, but I think this is a good direction. Something fresh, reset. Like, I didn't really like the Jordan Grace feud. I didn't really like the Thea Hale stuff. We need a reset on Blake of like, let's actually see what she can bring here. Cause I don't know if she's gotten off to the best start.
Yeah, I still, there's something that doesn't quite connect with me with her promos, which is odd because it was something I thought was pretty good in AEW. And I thought she had some good lines there. Maybe it's there's a bit of a start-stop nature with her. And I don't know what it is. There's something that hasn't quite connected with me with Blake Monroe. But Jada Parker felt like a star. She came out, got a huge reaction. And yeah, she has been missing for a bit. So I think she's, I think even last week we were asking where she was. So good to see her back. And it's, yeah, that's a good feud for hopefully both of them to get their teeth into a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
We move on to the next segment where we see Shiloh Hill having a bit of a profile. He says he won LFG. He was the Undertaker's boy. He then did Christmas Chaos. And then this Christmas, he saw a family of flying squirrels by his house. And he was kind of upset because he didn't get the pet python he wanted. So he bought in the flying squirrels. And he says, kids, don't try this at home because it was awesome. And he said these flying squirrels went everywhere. His father had to get out the sledgehammer. I think he said his sister's name is Darkness. I might have
Darkness
wrong. I think he said my sister Darkness couldn't get them under control, and talks about. He then goes on talking about dancing the tango with Ariana last week and his tooth falling out. Well, tonight isn't about the tooth or the tango. It's about the TNA International Championship, and I'll show you why no one sleeps on Shiloh Hill.
Yeah, another weird promo from this guy. A lot of weird things mentioning he wanted a pet python, the squirrels in the house. It's January 13th. I didn't need to hear Christmas music. The word Christmas Chaos was brought up way too many times on this episode. And I was like, let's move. The less we remember of that, I think the better. And yet somehow they keep wanting to drag it up. But I guess that whole thing with the tooth and whatnot. But yeah, last week. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like that we've seen this guy already do the weird promos, and then they've shown what his in-ring kind of persona is, and it looks to me like a guy from one of these reality shows that I don't like watching that WWE produce. So not off to the greatest start for me, but like I said, with some of the other new cast and crew, it's not necessarily meaning I'm going to write this guy off. Just like from what I've seen thus far, and these promos, I can tell they're just not for me specifically. I don't find the like, oh, and the flying squirrels and the chainsaw and the this and the that. I don't find this very like clever. So yeah, that's just me.
We go to the match. It's Channing Stacks Lorenzo taking on Shiloh Hill for the TNA International Championships. We get a big Beal from Hill. And then Stacks goes for a splash in the corner, but Shiloh moves out the way and rolls him out up for a 2. He then applies this sort of arm bar while standing, but keeps throwing him around whilst locking in this sort of arm bar. And then Hill hits a backdrop to Stacks to the floor. Whilst they're on the outside, Stacks Irish whips him into the apron, but Shiloh kind of spins around the apron and comes back with a clothesline. Shiloh then goes charging at Stacks, but Ariana moves out the way as Shiloh just dives and almost does the like Rey Mysterio belly slide, but like back into the ring and out the other side, and then comes back off the apron with a cannonball, taking out Stacks. In the break, we see Stacks come back with a diving, spinning uppercut off the second rope, and then Stacks has Hill in a tree of woe as he's delivering body shots and stomps. We get a pounce from Hill, a standing, leaping, like somersault senton for a 2. Stacks comes back with a gutbuster for a 2. And then Shiloh puts his arm around Ariana on the outside. She thinks it's Stacks at first, then realizes it's Hill and screams. And then back in the ring, Stacks traps Shiloh, pinning his shoulders to the mat and holds the ropes. However, the referee sees the rope hold, kicks the hands off the ropes. We then get an inside cradle from Hill, and Ariana leans in and kicks the inside cradle to roll it. So Shiloh Hill's shoulders are on the mat, and Channing Stacks Lorenzo wins and retains the international title.
I was really worried that Shiloh Hill was going to win the TNA international title here, but I'm happy that didn't happen. But there was some cool stuff. He's trying to be weird, right? That's his gimmick. Like I said, like it might not click for me, but even in ring, they're like, how do you show that you're weird? So all of his moves are like inverted things, like the senton as he flips forward to back into you. He's doing the dive over the ring because he's so fucking weird that everything is different from this guy. I just feel like I don't know who were you complaining about last week about their underwear?
Jasper Troy.
Yeah, they must shop at the same place because this guy falls in the same traps of
okay, but this guy's wacky. This isn't a big scary motherfucker who's carrying chains around wearing Marvel superhero underwear. This guy is a weirdo talking about his flying squirrels.
Yeah, this guy looks like the people of Walmart, essentially, is Shiloh Hill's gimmick. But like Stacks in the past, we've seen can actually go. We've seen some glimpses of him. The character that he's got with Ariana, it's kind of funny. I think it kind of works well for both of them being this like power couple and bad guys essentially. But yeah, not much of a match for me, but I did like Booker T on commentary saying he's very high, I guess, on Shiloh Hill, but he was talking about Shiloh Hill being the Mr. Rogers of NXT. And I kind of took an offense to that. What a weird thing to say.
Oh, he didn't seem high at the end. He kept on saying, he's not ready. He's not ready. He's not ready.
Yeah, he's not. Is it because he was Undertaker's guy on LFG?
I guess so.
I felt like, first of all, wouldn't Mr. Rogers of NXT be Mr. Chase? The red sweater and everything from like at that time. But yeah, weird match.
Look, this guy's super new, super green.
Yeah.
I still say I see a lot more in him than I do some of the other people. Like the gimmick is polarizing and it's cheesy and not necessarily the best, but in ring he's showing me a lot more than a Jasper Troy has. As you said, he's trying to do his own spin on things. He's at least got a bit of personality. I'm not saying this match blew me away, but for me, watching him feels like I'm watching 2013, 2014 NXT. You know, down to the look and everything. Like this, he feels like he belongs there where we're watching, you know, Leo Kruger try and figure it out in the ring and those kind of characters. He feels like that to me. We'll see. I do think his ceiling's higher than Jasper Troy of these LFG guys. But yeah, we're watching people learn on the job, right?
It does a thing. There's a lot of like go on TV and see kind of what you got and what works. And I'm sure there's tons of time before you even ever get to TV and practicing and stuff. But this character and this look is definitely not something I'm interested in right now. But he's still so new that like you don't want to just write them off and everything. But I guess that's how you learn is go out there and everything. So I guess we'll see, but not loving some of the new crop here. If you're saying, oh, well, look who else, Jasper Troy, he's someone they're really behind right now and using in TV. It's so bring on the Keanu Carvers of the world, because in 30 seconds they managed to make that guy seem like something compared to whatever the hell we've been doing with this dark web Redditor and the guy who really likes chains. So we'll see.
We get a commercial for season 2 of Unreal. This commercial was highlighting Io Sky, and she's talking about the cage spot with the trash can on her head.
I mean, pretty cool considering, if you wonder, like, how does she do that? Or maybe why does she do that? Which I don't know if she has an answer for that question, but she shows us putting the trash can on and being like, and then I realized, shit, I can't see. It's like, yeah, because you put a trash can on your head and then you jumped.
She's also done this like 5 times at this point, and she's like just figuring out at this year's Survivor Series that all right.
The show is called Unreal, okay?
Yeah, I know.
Because it is. Just call it WWE Fake. That's what it should be called.
Izzy Dane comes out and she says, welcome to your new reality. I am your NXT Women's North American Champion. Not Tatum Paxley, not Thea Hale, and certainly not Blake Monroe, but me. And I'm not going to give you a tired story about how I finally got my moment, because that's what people say who stumble into success. This was calculated. And I want to talk about how happy everyone was when I lost to Tatum Paxley. And you thought I was going to cry and wait in the shadows. Well, I don't waste losses, I study them. And while every other woman is feeling sorry about themselves, I am studying how this place works. And all that loss did was bring me clarity. Every movement has been part of my plan. I am always 3 steps ahead, and I engineered my opportunity. And because of that, I am now champion. And everyone wants a piece of Izzy Dame. Lola already wants a piece of me. Well, wanting something and earning it are very different things, Mamacita. And Thea, I know you think that the louder you whine, the better chance you are going to get a title shot. Just ask Tatum how I operate. And love isn't enough to keep someone on top. I didn't become champ by luck. I plan longer and pull the trigger at the right moment. And anyone wants a shot, you better reconsider what you're fighting for, because you're walking into a trap. And that's when Tatum Paxley runs out. She's being held back by referees, and she headbutts one of the refs so she can go after Izzy, but they're all pulled apart here.
Yes, like solid effort. I like that she is in the ring without Sean Spears and Nico Vance. But as I kind of said in the past few weeks, the whole culling storyline is pretty not exciting. And I don't necessarily find whatever her character is right now. Like, okay, I get you were the opportunist, and that's kind of what happened last week. But I don't necessarily find this whole rivalry that thrilling, and anything with the culling necessarily. I think it has been a way to get her over and finally have something that she can sink her teeth into. I think before the culling, what really was she necessarily doing? And not a whole lot. So at least it's definitely been a device for her, or what does Booker say? The GPS of Sean Spears. Yeah. But I'm trying to watch her, listen to a promo. It wasn't necessarily connecting with me. And then it's Tatum coming out, and we've seen this a few times. And like, I think we do need to go to the third match. You know, we've seen 2 of already, and like, they weren't necessarily bad, but I don't know. I wasn't necessarily feeling this that much. And I don't think I've been super high on the culling stuff regardless, but I was like, all right. She won the title. Like I was expecting when like she lost, she says, I lost to Tatum, and then somehow I still walked out champion. Like I think when Edge lost the title and then beat up Kofi and took his spot, like he had this like insane, crazy heel promo that was like, oh, you're an opportunist. And I don't know, I think they could have leaned into that maybe a bit more of like how, but I don't know. I'm not
even like, I mean, I think it wasn't that the first match on the show. I don't think we knew we were getting an open challenge at that.
No.
Oh no, we did know we were getting, because that was the first match, wasn't it? Thea and attacking Blake.
We didn't necessarily know. We didn't necessarily know, but still, like I was
just thinking if there was like a heel logic where she's like, "Oh, I deliberately threw the match because I knew that I was going to take that opportunity later," or something.
I just think like, okay, we've seen her wrestle, and I think she has improved in not just wrestling but talking too. But I just think if you compare Izzy to a lot of the other characters that we have, she's one of the like more boring ones we kind of got here. Like she said a whole lot of nothing. And I kind of felt the same way with that Blake Monroe promo earlier. I'm not necessarily saying they were the same thing, but I felt like the process of creative is maybe like showing itself a little bit of just not necessarily the most.
They felt
exciting.
very similar.
Yeah, very like copy paste.
Having them on the same show.
Yeah.
I do think she's growing in confidence. I think she's sounding a lot more confident. I think the content wasn't necessarily that interesting. And I'm not particularly excited about seeing another match between the 2 of them. But I do think, as far as developmental goes, I do think she's, in all aspects, is becoming a lot more confident. Just don't think necessarily the character's most interesting in the world.
Yeah, I completely agree. I just think like out of a lot of the people, I don't think she's necessarily bad, because I do see the improvements there, and whatever it is working. I just think on the same show, you had 2 similar promos of just kind of rambling classic mumbo jumbo wrestling, which I think we've moved on from. Like that kind of like just feels like a copy paste a little there, pasta there, but we'll see. Hopefully the match can deliver.
We move on to Ricky Saints backstage, who says he doesn't have to qualify. He's already in the match, and he'll be watching the matches very carefully next week. We'll have Sean Legacy versus Eli Knight in a qualifying match, Josh Briggs versus Shiloh Hill, and then Stax walks in and is mad that Shiloh gets a shot when Stax just beat him. And Ricky says, yeah, well, your girl helped you, didn't she? But you won the match. You got the girl. Chill. And Ricky walks off when Lexis King walks in and says to Channing, let's talk.
Oh, boy. You know what this means? A Stax Lexis King stable.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't this what you've been waiting for?
So long.
Yeah, I know you really have just been waiting for like the next big faction in NXT. Now, I know they technically have been working together, I think, in TNA as whatever NXT Invasion.
Yeah, Raiders and all that, right?
Yeah, so Invasion, whatever. But yeah, Lexis King and Stax working together. Wow, I can't wait to see where this goes. And I hope people can understand sarcasm. I think, yet again, Ava not doing her job. This man just beat him. Why does he get a title? Why does he get a qualifying match? Cheating or not, bro, that guy won.
Okay, I can understand this one because it's like throwing a bone. Like, hey, you lost that, but you should have won.
It's so wrestling. Fuck throwing a bone.
Yeah.
No, it does. I didn't even think of it until Stax is angry, and I went, "Oh shit, yeah, you did just win, didn't you?" I completely forgot. I do think that's weird. Or next week is a rematch, and the winner gets. Yeah. But instead, nah, the guy who lost gets the qualifying match. What are we even doing here?
So, do you assume I assume Sean Legacy is beating Eli Knight, seeing that we haven't seen Eli Knight yet, and Sean Legacy is, or no, did we see him once? I can't remember.
Yeah, Eli Knight. Yeah.
I see Sean Legacy winning that one. What about Josh Briggs, Shiloh Hill?
You tell me, David. Yeah, tell me.
Well,
tell me.
I think our heart would say Josh Briggs, wouldn't it? But from watching this program, I think they want to feed. Oh, you can't put this guy in a ladder match,
right?
You can't.
Isn't that fucking backwards? Like I laughed, like baffling. Okay, let's say Josh Briggs actually wins this match, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case at all. Like Josh Briggs should be in this thing. Dare I say a crazy thing to do would have him be a focus of like a big heel challenger or something like that. But I definitely don't see them doing that. So I could see Shiloh Hill beating this guy next week. And that might be some writing on the wall. I don't know.
Yeah.
If that happens, like that might be a signal to get the best ready for.
I'm going to go with my boy, Josh. I'm going to, you're going to. Yeah, because here we go. Oh, I'm going to tell you the what you've been waiting for. Stax and Lexis screw Shiloh Hill, and we get the power trio of Briggs, Lexis, and Stax.
I unfortunately see that, and like that would be maybe best case scenario. I take that back instantly. I guess I don't know. Like I don't like any of this. None of this.
What would we call them?
What is Lexis? Sorry, this sounds like one of the worst stables I've ever heard of, and like I don't even necessarily hate these guys, but like wow. Okay, Josh Briggs, Lexis King, and Stax as a stable. Wow, I don't think that's actually going to happen, but he said let's talk, so maybe there is something up their sleeve, but I just don't get why the like Sean Legacy and Eli Knight, why would they get NXT title shots? Why would Shiloh Hill? He lost tonight. Like he's so new. Why all of a sudden with random people? Is that how shallow this men's?
Well, that's what Ava said. She wants to shake things up. We want to give some new people shots.
Right. It does make you nervous if you're putting new people into a ladder match.
I don't think they'll put Shiloh in this one. It wouldn't surprise me, but I don't think they're going to do that.
Right. We'll see. Like Josh, for some reason, we might be the only people who are like hanging on to something. Like, okay, maybe they could do something. Maybe there's something there. But week by week, when I don't think that they see it, I don't think they're going to go that direction. But
we then see a new interviewer. I don't think we've seen this guy before, have we?
I think so. I think we've seen him a few times.
Okay. Well, he says that we see Tatum Paxley being escorted out of the building. He says for hitting an official, she has been kicked out. That's when the Vanity Project show up. And I think it was Jackson Drake was looking for where the crazy girls are around. No, sorry, it was Ricky Smokes looking for where the crazy girls are around here. I mean, Jackson Drake wants a qualifying match.
Well, they did show that they have signed NXT contracts now.
Yes.
So it is announced that the Vanity Project, all three of these guys are now moving up from Evolve to NXT. Kind of what we were saying literally last week and the few weeks before, like, oh, these guys should just be on NXT now. And Jackson Drake mentions, like, being the Evolve champion, maybe I should be put in the qualifier. And even that is right. Like, the guy who is the top of the best in the developmental of the developmental doesn't get a qualifier, but fucking Eli Knight and Sean Legacy, who lost to Jackson Drake many times already, gets the qualifying match. So these heels are pissed tonight, rightfully so, on NXT. But I think this is a plus for us.
These are going to be good. And I do. So Jackson Drake he's getting a qualifying match, right? Or he assumes he is, but
that's what I'm saying. He didn't get one. I mean, as of now,
well, we only know 2 matches, right?
Yeah, so it's just funny because, like, the heel logic, he was like, why do these guys get matches? And it's yet again, like, kayfabe wise here, story wise of the show, why the fuck are all these losers getting title qualifying matches? And I mean loser as literally they lose the matches and get the qualifying match is what I mean, because that's now 2 different.
Sorry, who's the other one? Shiloh and
so literally Shiloh Hill lost tonight, and then Jackson Drake is mad because he is Evolve champion, and then literally I believe last week on Evolve was Sean Legacy versus Jackson Drake, and he beat him again to retain the Evolve title. And then this week they're like, yeah, Sean Legacy gets the shot.
Okay, I mean, to be fair, Shiloh Hill was cheated. And we established in the show that if you have a championship belt, you can't go for this title.
I guess that's why, because Ava is just stuck in her ways. But yeah. So maybe he'll have to give it up. Maybe and that's how he gets rid of this title. But yeah.
So they're all pissing around when they suddenly see Keanu Carver and Scram, and we see Keanu Carver who's mad, and he throws the camera out of his way, get this camera out my face.
That was kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
It just like goes to the like bars and tone, and then it's like, oh, we're back on the air. It's like
what's he angry about?
What's he so angry about? He's got the best of everyone. He looked great in that opening segment, but his gimmick is he's very, very angry, the angry man. But either way, I'm happy. Like, okay, push this guy. Let's put him in a match next week. Destroy someone, like crush a jobber next week, and show us like exactly what this guy is capable of if it's in a match. And then same with Vanity Project. They mentioned next week they have a match against Chase U. So I imagine they go over Chase U. Like, if it was me, I know Dark State are the champs, right? Sort of, I guess. I would have somehow we get to these guys as champions sooner rather than later.
Yeah. We go to our main event. It's Dion Lennox versus Joe Hendry in a no disqualification match. And we have... I did find it funny. So we knew, obviously, this is no DQ and that Dion Lennox is going to have Dark State with him. We saw Joe Hendry talk to OTM, kind of butter them up last week, saying, hey, you might get closer to the tag titles if you help me. But something was so jarring here because Joe Hendry's making his entrance. And then when the cheesy guitar solo hits is when these 2 thugs walk out behind and it so outplayed these 2 with Joe Hendry.
You forgot the name I gave them last week. They didn't use it. Joe TM. It was right there for them. Right here. Joe TM. Great stuff.
We go to the match, and it takes them a while before they like use the no DQ rules. We get a neck breaker from Lennox, a superplex from Joe. After the break, we see the rest of Dark State kind of plotting, and Lennox applies a deep headlock when Sugar sets up a steel chair in the corner. However, Hendry sends Lennox into the chair. Bronco Nima then hands Hendry some custom OTM brass knucks. and he smacks Lennox in the head with it, but Lennox kicks out. A kendo stick's then thrown into the ring, and Dion starts using that against Joe, and he's swinging. Eventually, Hendry catches it and starts lighting up Dion with the kendo stick, and then hits a standing ovation. 1, 2, but Dark State pull Joe out the ring. They hit him, throw him back in the ring, and then Lennox does this kind of pickup, bouncing Joe off the top rope and then turning him around into a sit-out powerbomb, goes for the pin, and he gets pulled out the ring by OTM this time, and then OTM punch Dion, and then OTM and Dark State both get in the ring. They start brawling. They brawl all the way to the back. Now a Slim Jim table is brought into the ring. We get a spine buster onto the chair from Lennox, but a kick out. We get a standing ovation onto the chair, but Dion kicks out. And then Lennox spears Hendry through the table in the corner, but Joe kicks out. And that's when Tony D'Angelo shows up, hits Lennox in the back with the steel chair, hits his one-handed spine buster, and then picks up Joe Hendry, does the exact same thing, the one-handed spine buster, and drags the body of Joe Hendry on top of Lennox for the win.
So Joe beats Dion. Don't really know what Tony's MO is here. I guess, does he still have beef with Dark State? I'm sure they attacked him in the past, but yeah, didn't really get too into this match. The DQ thing we've said in the past, when it's NXT or WWE, like, it's a lot of chairs and kendo sticks. They tried the thing with the brass knucks, okay, but didn't necessarily find it too exciting. I don't mind, like, Dion is getting better, but I don't think necessarily ready for that maybe main event push that they're doing here. And I kind of feel the same with Dark State. They look like a very generic group of people, and all of them ringside and everything. I didn't love this match. It's cool to see Tony back. I would imagine he is someone who is put into that ladder match. Maybe he's in a qualifying match or something. I mean, is it a shout of him winning the title finally, or is that something where it's better if he's
maybe.
Like, he's never won.
He's probably negotiated his way into this match without having to qualify or something, right?
Of course, because Ava's shady, so she's going to work in some bad stuff. I feel like he's never won that title, so you could have the story of him being that champion. But I don't know. I didn't like this main event that much. It's cool that he's back, but if it means some story progression in the next little while, we'll see. But my guess is that he's in this ladder match as well.
Yeah, I hated this, to be honest. I thought this was awful.
So boring.
There's just stuff that, like, I know it's no DQ, but you know, there's a difference when it's a main event of a big pay-per-view for a world title and people are kicking out of these huge moves, right? Because it's with the last fiber of your being, you're trying everything to win that championship. This is just a main event on NXT that was set up last week. And I'm just counting the times during this where I'm like, that should have been a finish. Like, how many times have we seen someone slyly put on a pair of brass knuckles, punch someone,
Power
1, 2, 3, but this was a kick out. We then see the standing ovation, which we've seen win many matches. We see it onto a steel chair, but it's a kick out. Dion Lennox's spine buster, which has been his finisher, onto a steel chair, but a kick out. A spear through a table, a kick out. And just like OTM with Joe Hendry just feels weird. Their brawl with Dark State was bad. I didn't think any of the near falls were really earned. Like, I really feel I think you're just wasting your finish. I'm not saying I'm against, like, oh, you should never kick out of a finisher, but you should somewhat protect them that when it is a big match that matters, i.e. it's stand and deliver, it's the main event, and someone gets hit with the standing ovation and there's a kick out, there's then a payoff because then you bite on it. Whereas I'm just realizing that both these guys maybe are just a bit limited in move set or whatever. I don't know. It didn't click for me. It didn't really feel like much of a no DQ match either. Like, they were trading headlocks and stuff like that, and then we get a kendo stick. I just thought this kind of sucked. And then the finish, like I've liked Tony D in the past. I don't necessarily see him as a main event character, but then he's been in NXT so long at this point that sure, but I can't say he feels one of the and spoilers for people who haven't been able to listen to the best and worst of, but the question in Likely Unlikely from a year ago was, will we find out why JBL is randomly clotheslining people? And I feel that is Tony D'Angelo's character at the moment, right?
He's just beating up everyone.
Shows up and attacks random people. We had him attack Javon, and Javon didn't really give a shit about it. He just went to Raw. He attacked Oba. Oba didn't care. Like I don't know. This match really didn't do it for me.
I didn't find this match was a whole lot of exciting. I don't understand what they're doing with Tony D'Angelo. It seems like maybe they don't understand. If this leads to him being in this title match and he gets the title, then sure. But is he like a baby face? Is he a tweener? We mentioned Ricky, Ethan Page. They could be added into this match. And then some of those qualifiers people in this six. It's weird to do it with a 6-person ladder match for this title. Again, it feels like the North American title or something doing it this way, but not even like a tournament really or anything, but some qualifying matches. I don't know what they're doing with Tony D. Joe Hendry too. Like, is he someone who's in NXT? Is he going to be in this ladder match? Is he going to be on the main roster? Like, what's going on with that there? It's weird when you have a show where it's like, hey, look at all these new people we're trying to get on TV and get you used to and get some reps in, but then also not sure if they're tying up ends with some of the other characters or just kind of dancing around of like, we have them for now, or we don't have them, or we lost them. And I thought this show was awful. I did not like this show whatsoever. I looked at the positives and I said, like, okay, some of the new people, hopefully this works. Some of the things you throw at the wall have to stick, but we're in this weird reset period. It's like, it's grinding of Shiloh Hill and Jasper Troy, and oh no, Lexus King and Stax are going to start a faction. Oh my God. Like, please, just Dark State. What are we even doing with these guys? What even are these guys?
Yeah.
At this point, this whole show is really, really messy, and I'm being just nice of how I felt watching this show. This is essentially week 1, I'd say, of like the new stuff. And I guess the positive is the 30 seconds of this Keanu Carver of destroying people, I guess. But
I actually think you mentioned it earlier, but maybe the breakout tournament would really help this show at the moment.
Yeah, sure.
Like let's get some what I've always liked about them is the like little profile things they do. It's not necessarily trying to sell us a goofy gimmick that they're coming up with. We're learning more about just these people as people, and what they've been able to do in the, what do they call it, the combine, in the performance center, or their previous athletic career, or their love for wrestling and their work on the indies or stuff like that. And I think maybe that would be a good thing to do right now. Have a breakout tournament. It's it's winter. Do that so we actually get to know some of these new characters a little bit more, and maybe showcase the better wrestlers, because we know they're there. You've got people like Kendall Gray, who's fantastic, and she's kind of just come out of nowhere. And there must be some other people, but I think it's really the men that maybe it's the trainers down there they're not necessarily looking for what is at least my taste, but I think our taste is very similar to a lot of people. Like I don't think we as fans are particularly excited about Jasper Troy's of the world. Like, I think we want more athletic presentation, right? Like, and I'm not saying just flippy shit, but just like, yeah, Dion Lennox can be great. We've seen him be good. And I think that's more of the like ilk I'm looking for, but there's just, I don't know who a lot of these characters are for.
I mean, we said off the top, them doing more tryouts, WWE ID. I don't think necessarily that's something they're doing as much, but tryouts, whether they're hiring people who have, athletic backgrounds like we've seen, it has worked with people who have no wrestling background. And obviously it has not, that we've seen. And anytime there's hot indie acts that get some sort of a wind or buzz behind them, they either sign here or sign in other places, and that's kind of it. But maybe they do need to find some people like this French luchador next week. Like, that's what, think about NXT as a whole. The one thing that we kind of have to look forward to is the debut of a dude who's French in a luchador mask. Fuck it. Let's go. Let's see. Hopefully that can be something, but I'm hoping we can get some good stuff going forward. It is always tough when it's like day one of starting with this whole new cast of characters, and we've seen it before, and it's kind of been painful before, but we got to kind of go through it. And it's a weird thing with this like NXT and that happening quite often, like once a year, once a few years. But think, Tony D returns to NXT and we don't know what he's doing really. And at the same time, Braun Breaker like wrestled for the WWE title this week. Like, isn't that like they came up together at the same time around that era, right? Like,
yeah,
Braun
I guess
Breaker,
so. Yeah,
Tony D'Angelo, Carmelo Hayes, and Tony's still the one that's down here. And I think, I don't know, like, shit or get off the pot with that guy with NXT and just put him on the main roster at this point, I guess. But
yeah, it's weird though. Like, I'd have seen him having a better chance with his old gimmick than whatever this is. But
yeah,
I don't know.
We'll see. Well, yeah, we'll see what we have next week. The French luchador could save NXT for all we know, but yeah.
We do have some feedback as well over at the Facebook group. If you're not a member of the Poisonrana Facebook group, what are you waiting for? Log on to Facebook, search Poisonrana, and then join us, and you can leave feedback, just like our friend Fire Frank, who says he's really excited to see Vanity Project officially called up. Keanu has a lot of potential as well. I remember being impressed by him in the last breakout tournament, and he's looked good on Evolve and can step into that big, strong monster role that has been left vacant by the ruler, leaving for a bigger kingdom. New faces and the wheels keep turning. Let's see who steps up for the men's side. Great to see Miss Parker back. Hopefully this is the year she gets some gold. I still think Soul is the one to unseat JC. Lola versus Kelani was my match of the night. These two showed out. One note on the end of the main event. I don't think this is the reason they'll give, but Tony D definitely would have had some animosity towards Dark State, as it was their attack on feud with the D'Angelo family that led to Stack's betrayal in the first place. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That was what Stand and Deliver last year, was it not?
Yes, it was so good. I forgot about that. We go to Megan, who writes in. Thank you, Frank. Appreciate you. Megan says, decent episode to reshuffle the deck in the aftermath of the roster raid. Nice to see the Vanity Project move up. I hope Sean Legacy gets the nod to join the roster. From in-ring standpoint, nothing touched Lola and Lonnie. I still don't know what Tony D's motivation is behind this Sting shtick. Kind of hoped a multiple-week tournament to culminate at Vengeance Day for the title. Yeah, that's kind of, I think, what I was saying. But Sean went to the break in case of emergency ladder match to solve this puzzle. Start investing in Elio LaFleur stocks. Hey, I think I said that earlier. Now that, because I see big things for the Frenchman, he should get the North American title from the jump. Ethan Page has cleaned out all the challengers in the last month. Time for a change. Word to Owen Hart. Thank you, Megan. Appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, we kind of said you should go with giving this guy the title. You should move around Ethan Page to a bigger deal. He has been the better character since being in the North American title picture, even more better than when he was NXT champion. So we shall see. We got qualifying matches next week leading to a ladder match. Maybe this all leads to a schmoz thing, and then we get a Vengeance Day, like big singles match between, I don't know, Tony D and Ricky Saints or something like that. That somewhat fresh, I guess, but
sure. Yeah.
There you go.
See. Watch this space.
Yes, that was NXT. That was Up Next. Appreciate all the postmarks out there. We will be back next Tuesday to find out who qualified for that ladder match, because even us will be back. Appreciate everyone out there. We will also be live this Sunday, 2 p.m. on Poisonrana. Search us in your podcast app or YouTube. We just did a show last Sunday talking all about all the other stuff in the world of wrestling, AEWs, SmackDown, and so much more. And we will talk all about the first ever TNA AMC show, plus Dynamite, Maximum Carnage, SmackDown, and so much more this Sunday. And you want to support, check out all the shows at patreon.com/Poisonrana. But that is it. That is all. Take care. Goodbye. And be safe.
Ahoy!